All right, now I'm taking you with me on my trip to Riva del Garda, Italy, to attend the European Business Network annual congress, where I will be giving the first keynote with the title Human Digitalism. But first, I gotta leave Berlin. So here's the Berlin Brandenburg Airport. My flight was at 9:50 a.m. So I left home around 7:20, and by transport and actually getting through immigration or security, it only took an hour, so it wasn't so bad. But at least you can see now what Berlin Brandenburg Airport looks like, with a quick stopover in Munich before my flight to Verona. And also before I left, this was the photo they posted of the stage. So it was my first time seeing that it was a really proper, nice stage. And here are just some shots from the plane, because we're flying over the mountains. So I wanted to kind of record some of the beauty from the air. And this picture looks to me like waves, like land waves. That's what came to mind. Very beautiful. And this was seeing one of the first lakes in the area. Definitely don't know what this one is called, but this was the first lake that I noticed flying over this region. It's a big agricultural area, and many of this green are grapes. This is wine country, so I noticed that they were vineyards because they had beautiful buildings like in the middle of the green, so the old beautiful buildings of the vineyards. So landing in Verona Airport, which is about an hour from Riva del Garda, and here's my driver to come pick me up in a big Mercedes van, so a lot of space, very comfortable.
How do you say a little bit?
He's a very fast driver. It's Italian style, so usually it takes an hour.
Yeah, for job.
But we got there in about
Not
45
job,
minutes.
for
so
speaking.
Definitely going
Yeah.
at a very good speed.
At a conference. In
Congressi?
Gono, yeah, exactly. At Riva del Garda.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd never been.
Looking a little tired here because of the early morning, but happy to arrive without any delays. And look at this beautiful green already shortly after leaving the airport. And here's my first glimpse of Riva del Garda. And just this lake surrounded by the mountains.
What a beauty.
You can see it there. It's very exciting to actually start approaching it and driving in. Then arriving more in, now closer to the lake, and seeing these beautiful old villas and buildings as we are arriving in town. And here I am arriving in town, and my driver is actually going into an area where I think not many cars are going, if any. But this is going into the old part. You can see the square there, the water, and very beautiful.
Take me in to where the cars don't go. But I got to look at this beauty. Yay. So beautiful. There's my hotel. There's the square. Busy. This is my right here. This building right here.
So that's the water. Can't see it from here, but yeah. Alrighty, let's check in. Hello. Welcome to my hotel room. Pretty standard, but very nice. Let's get into that, but nice bed. I open up the windows because it's warm, but actually, there's a breeze, and there's the lake. Da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful, very beautiful. Look at the mountains. Wow, so beautiful. All right. Let's walk down. And since I didn't have any breakfast, found a beautiful spot right by the lake and actually for the location. It was not expensive, so I had a simple penne arrabbiata and enjoyed the sun and the people watching and the beauty of this area. See the sun on that side. Very beautiful. Mountains in there, they put the so you can see the mountains. It's very beautiful and peaceful here. And the sun is now not so hot, but over there still. So there was an evening event for the EPN Congress, which is only about a less than 10-minute walk away, and I was heading in this direction. The views, the mountain where I walked. There's the entrance of the conference, which when I went, I was a little bit too late, so it was locked. So I went straight to the venue where there were the drinks and the dinner, and it was on this restaurant very close by on the rooftop. So we had the intro from the director of the organization there. And I met it with my friend Jose from Spain. I spent a month with him. He's the director of Institute in Burgos, and I spent a month there with a women's entrepreneurship program. So it was really great to connect with him. And I met the rest of the Spanish crew. They are from different parts of Spain, Maria. And yeah, the Spanish like to enjoy life, so we were having some fun. Oh, earlier they had a men's choir that sung songs of the region, even including songs related to people who have died in the Alpines, in the Alps. So a lot of the songs were very touching that we're singing. And the next morning, I give my keynote. So it's not too early. It was from 11 to 11:30, and I really enjoyed it. It's my first time presenting in that way, to give a speech, a 20-minute speech. So I had my notes there. But yeah, and they were running a little bit over time already, so there was supposed to be a Q&A, and had the MC that could ask me a question after the speech, but there wasn't enough time for that. But I'm very happy with how it went, and I got a lot of great feedback. And just afterwards, sitting a little bit in the sun to enjoy. This is right outside the Congress Center, essentially, and just still in amazement of this beauty in mountains. And then meeting some fun people, including this young lady whose hair is gray. She was very impressed with my gray hair. And then also I had a little bit of video to take for the Congress, for their media. So I went to do this video right by the lake.
So, as I said in the mail, we were actually, it's basically what you said this morning too.
So really amazed by the beauty here. And coming back for some of the final sessions. And then we were on the way to the party, the dinner and party, which we held in a very interesting spot. It's called Manufatra, and it was where, now it's a technology park, but before it was a big buildings where they had women who are making and rolling cigars. So at one time it was 2,000 women that were working there. This was during like World War I, World War II. It was a very interesting history. And on the way, getting to see some of this, the more beauty of this region. And this was my seatmate in the van or the bus, so meeting some really interesting people. Had to talk about relationships. And then arriving at this technology park and getting a tour around it and the history there. And this is just a view from one of the rooftops there. And now going to the party area. So this is where it's being held. So the food concept where there are several of these tables and each held local regional delicacies. This was a bread table, only the bread from that region. And they had a fish table. So just look at on the right, this is still the bread table with butter there. So it's a very interesting food concept. And I was going to taste the different food. Very interesting, I must say. And creative, just a taste of food from Trentino.
What we do, what we are, and what we are building in Trentino. It is now my pleasure to invite our institutional guests.
They had an amazing all-woman band with a singer, with a jazz player, drums, a violinist. We were, after eating and having some champagne, I was dancing for hours. We got the dance, we got the party really going. So I really appreciated these women. They were amazing. And that was the end of my first 2 days in Riva del Garda, part 1.